אח של סבתא.
למה? חווה ודורית יומון.
לא, חווה היא שתי הורות שלה.
לא, למה לא
תקחו את המגיפה. היה שם השעה.
עכשיו את עצמו יהודים הם בכל הגאו ואדי, דניאל מצטטים יש
כמה שנים הייתי בצבא, אני בכל
אבל אני יכול לתגובה שלו שהוא היה...
חיל ים כזה. היה לנו עובדות שאני זוכר שהיה בדיסני גם אני שקל בתל אביב, חנות סיגור. כן, לא, זה מיקי.
אוקיי.
לא, זה בעל של פול.
שביקרת לזה בבלגיה?
לא, הם מגיעים כל קיץ לחיפה. ליאופולד, אני ידעתי שזה... אני יודע שזה... העניין שלי גם בכל זה... רק אם מתנדב מחו"ל. זה היה משהו מחל, בחו"ל, לא מחל מחו"ל. כל מה שמלכים. היה נורא מרגש, אני באתי...
לא, לא רואים את זה.
אפילו באתי לה במדים.
את מכירה את המון שאמא ואבא היו
סגן או משהו.
סבא שלה היה
איפה רואים אותו?
אמא, אבל תגיד, את זוכרת את הדוד שביקרנו בדיזינגוף?
לא, הוא בן דוד של ריקי, הוא מהצד השני. הייני.
איפה הוא? נכון, הייני. זה הייני.
זה הצד של סבא וסבתא, ארתור וסידון. כל הצד הזה.
זה כאילו מהצד שלה. אנחנו בצד של וואי. סידוניה הייתה אימא של סבתא שלי.
הפמוטים שיש לי בבית הם של סידוניה.
אתם גנבתם אותם? חיפשנו באמת. אתם מחפשים מהירים אותם.
יש לנו ירושת מיליונים בסיביר.
זה בקילו של אבוקדו.
הם זרקו את זה, היה להם זהב, הם זרקו אותו לנהר בסיביר.
לא שייך. כן?
עלו לארץ, הקומוניסטים לא אהבו
הם נפטרו.
נכון. עוד מעט תראו.
היה עוד בן שהוא בגיל שנה, שנתיים גם נפטר. זה בזמן מלחמה.
מה שומר את זה במפעל? הוא קלט שאני מדבר רומנית?
אבל היית ברומניה?
וזה לפי אבא.
אם הייתי שם לה עכשיו את זה שם לפה, הייתה שואלת מי זה סבא שלה?
גם פה יש טעויות. זה הקרובים שלכם.
מי שנמצאת, מי באוקראינה? זאתי.
אני לא יודע אם ליזה חיה או לא,
אמא שלי הייתה שולחת, אמא שלי שולחת את החבילות.
היא התחסנה עם ולדימיר איבנוב, והיו לה שני בנים, אלכס ודימיטרי. דימיטרי דווקא יותר גדול.
התמונה ליד המשפחה שלהם.
זה עשוי לראייה.
אבא של סבא
הוא היה נושא לאמא שלי. אמא שלי אשתו, חניה. אל תגידו לי מה.
זה מאוד מעניין. יש גם אוקראינים שהם עם שם משפחה כזה, וגם יהודים. זה היה אזור בין בלרוס ואוקראינה, קראו לו פולסיה, ומי שבא משם קראו להם פולישוקים.
אבל הוא הסבא של שלכם.
הוא אשתו הראשונה שקראו לה משהו, הם התגרשו. כן.
הבת של הנישואים הראשונים של ראש חזרה, סבתא שלי,
שלום לכולם, בוקר טוב. Benny, tu peux faire entrer tout le monde? Merci. Bien. דורית פה, בסדר. דורית, בבקשה לשבת. Okay. First of all, I am very, very moved. Poof. We are going to start lighting the memorial candle for all the people who are not with us anymore. There are too many. So I will call a member of each branch of our families. On one side, we will have Gutman-Fischgrund, bevakasha labo. And on the other side, we have Tal Rassis. איפה הוא? איפה טל? אוקיי, so מישהו וואלה. טל רוזנבלאו? מיכאל, סליחה. There are so many members that it's difficult for me to remember them all and to identify them all. So, bevakasha. Vous deux, vous allumez la bougie. Allô? Good morning, mishpacha shelanu. We hope you have had a good night's sleep and that you are awake for this genealogy session on our both families, Fischgrund Schnitzer, Gutman-Weil Hazanovich. In memory of our families, we would like to light a candle and thank Bernard Fischgrund and Michael Rosenblau for the prayer they will make, but we can all pray in our soul, in our heart, and say whatever we want to say and hope. Ephraim and I are at the center of this initiative. As such, our photos are a little bit bigger than all others. Green badges, as you know, are part of the green part of the tree and relate to the Fischgrund Schnitzer branches. Blue badges are present in the blue part of the tree and relate to the Gutman-Weil Hazanovich branches. After this session, every family will receive a reduction, 50% of this amazing genealogy tree that was printed on paper in black and white. Don't forget your copy. It's over there. Before any further detail, I apologize if there are mistakes in this current version and deeply hope that this basis will be updated constantly for the future generations of our families. In the meantime, it was already updated with photos received from the Ram family in the USA, Ephraim-sized, that arrived after the deadline as we were already going to print. So the RAM is in the computer, but not on the printed genealogy tree. For those interested in receiving a copy by email, please request it to the email you probably have, because I wrote to you in the past weeks, in the past months, with Gutman.Fischgrund@gmail.com. Several people from several branches will present their part of the story. Before I give the word to the first witness, I would like to emphasize that this tree is about our Jewish history, that is linked to the history of the big history with a big H. Every Jewish family could write a book that would contribute to a better knowledge of our past. Our father Leopold Gutman, Zichrono Livracha, was the only survivor of his family living in Berlin, until they were arrested on their obligatory working place on February 27, 1943, during the Fabrikaktion planned in the Nazi strategy to deport all remaining Jews in Germany. The elderly son, Berthold, was arrested a year before in 1942 as he was part of a Jewish resistance group and sent to Riga. Strange to realize that Berthold was still alive in 1945 in Buchenwald, extermination camp, when Leopold, our father, arrived there after long days of walking and starvation from Auschwitz during one of the death walks planned to bring survivors, merci Marianne, to camps in Germany.
Bertolt was killed on March 3rd, 1945, 5 weeks before the liberation of Buchenwald by the Americans. The Red Army liberated Auschwitz on January 27, 1945, recognized internationally at the Memorial Day for the Holocaust. I don't like the word Holocaust. She doesn't like the word Holocaust, as it is connected to sacrifice. She does prefer the word Shoah, that you will be able to read too often on the
genealogy, merci Marianne, on the genealogy tree to mention how people passed away. Shoah is our catastrophe. I'm profoundly marked by the life of our late parents. Shoah is part of my DNA. The mother of our father was Charlotte Weil, who was born in Budapest. She married Otto Abraham Gutman. She met in Berlin during her studies at the university. She was guest with Eva and Maria, the two youngest sisters of our father, upon their arrival in Auschwitz, early March 43. His father and his young brother, Hans Simon, his uncles, aunts, and cousins died in the Shoah. On our mother's side, we do have, Marianne, we do have the Babi Yar background.
On our mother's side, we do have the Babi Yar background, where our grandfather, great-grandfather, Wolf Hazanovich, was assassinated with the third wife, with his third wife, sorry. The youngest people
in the Hazanovich
family
could leave Kiev earlier when the panic was increasing after the Barbarossa campaign by the Nazis, which planned to conquer USSR. They managed to get official transport documents which enabled them to get on the train to the east, so they were saved in Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan. Our parents met in Haifa in 1949. Leopold Gutman, who was the only survivor of his family, ended up in Brussels after the liberation, accommodated in an orphanage where 40 young survivors were taken care of by the local Jewish community supported by the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee. The Sheliach of the Jewish Agency arrived at the beginning of the Independence War and convinced all 40 young survivors to accompany him in Marseille and be trained as Marines on the first frigate, Kuv 28, that was brought early 1949 to Israel. Tu as cette photo? Le bateau. Merci. Our parents married in 1951, and I was designed in Haifa, our family and heart city in Israel, where our only grandmother, Paula Chazanovich, would live until the end of her life. In 2014, at the age of 80, our mother, Zina Zahava, passed away on her arrival in Haifa, 5 years after our dear father had died in Brussels. I keep saying she was on a mission to make sure that the name of Haifa would be mentioned on the stone of their grave. Ephraim, tu veux parler? Yes. Attends, j'ai encore une conclusion ici. I have, in my conclusion, I would like already to mention that Germany did a tremendous memorial work in the country. Our father got a lot of recognition from the Germans to what his family endured during the World War II. He was invited in the 90s by IG Farber Kodak company as a previous worker in chemical environment for a gathering of survivors of this forced labor experience. 2008, we were all invited in Berlin for the inauguration of the Gutmannplatz. In 2013, my sister Marianne and I went to Berlin for a special memorial event arranged by students in the local gymnasium secondary school who had chosen the history of the Gutmann family as their citizenship work and offered 7 Stolpersteine memorial stones that were inserted in the pavement on the address in the Lemkestraße where they lived and which became a cemetery during the DDR, Deutsche Demokratische Republik. 2018, my sister Simone and Marianne, as well as our nephew Julien, the son of Simone, we were in Berlin for the inauguration again of the special remembrance panel at the entrance of the cemetery, where before the separation wall was built between East and West Berlin, the ground was the place where the Gutmann family was living in a house that was owned by Annie Einrichdorf, that my father called Tante Annie, Auntie Annie. She moved to the United States on time. One of her grandsons is here with us, Daniel Hardorf. Dr. Daniel Hardorf and his wife. We don't have any information, clear information on the Otto Gutmann's origins, besides he had 3 brothers who were fighting for Germany during the First World War. Leopold died, and our father was named after him. Our father didn't speak about his life in hell during the war. However, we do have 6 hours video of his interview by the Spielberg Foundation when they were looking for testimonies of survivors of the Shoah. Our mother didn't speak at all. We can imagine the suffering behind his behavior. No.
Bravo, Charlotte. With regards to my family, my mother, Fela Schnitzer, was 84 when she met Charlotte. She reached the age of 101. My parents were cousins. My father, Gutman-Fischgrund, decided at the age of 20 to go and work in Palestine between 24 to 28. He stayed in Rehovot, where they are both buried. They lived in Poland, in Krzanów, 12 kilometers far from Auschwitz. A Jewish city, 97% of the city were Jewish, and also we're part of a big family, the average being to have 8 children, at least. You can imagine what no Jews were left in Krzanów after the war.
Okay.
Okay.
You will speak in a minute.
So now, okay, Nadine, please come, and Bernard also. I give, yes, my niece and nephew will give more information about this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Nadine.
Nadine, Bernard, voilà. Voilà. Et nous, on va se mettre là-bas.
Okay. So I'm Nadine Fischgrund and my brother Bernard. Our father is Ephraim's brother. I want to speak about the Fischgrund and the Schnitzer part. Okay, I want to speak about the Fischgrund and the Schnitzer part. Okay, that's that part of the tree. If you go at the higher generation that we have there, and now even we have the name of Rachel Geiger, which is the ancestor, the woman ancestor. So from what I know, speaking with other members of the family, she should be connected to the family of Rav Alberstam, which is the Sanz family, which is the Bobov dynasty. So it looks like we have, but Bon Maman, my grandmother said that we had Rabbanim we had Rav in the family. And what is interesting is the wife of that Rav is called Rachel Feigla. And if you see on the tree, 2 of the women name that comes the most are Rachel and Feigla. My grandmother was Feigla, her mother was Rachel, and her daughter was Rachel. So we have that in the family. So we wonder, I haven't really pinpointed, but we wonder what's the direct link. Another thing is the son of that Rav, Alberstam, was the Rav in Krzanów. He had many children, one was in Krzanów. Okay, if we go in the next generation, my grandmother told me that her mother had a choice between 2 twins. One was Jakub and one was Yosef. She was in Krzanów in a little shtetl, and they were making bread. That was the profession. So one was in the bread business, and another one was in Czechoslovakia doing business, something like far away. So she said, I'll choose the one that's far away. So of the 2 twins, she chose the one in Czechoslovakia. What happened is the one in Czechoslovakia had a flood. He lost everything. He came back to Krzanów. The one of Krzanów went to the States. So that was a choice that was done. That was one thing. The next generation, the next generation, and we have people here. There was, from my grandmother's side, there was a brother. Don't know how he went out of Poland, but he arrived in Amsterdam, and he had a factory of raincoat. In the factory of raincoat, he said he went to the authority and he said, I need workers. So he needed workers, he needed his mother to work and one sister to work, another sister. And the fact that he took everybody by sending working permit in Poland, the family, I think 4 sisters and the mother, I'm not sure about the other brother, and the other brother? Everybody. He took all his brothers and sisters and parents and he brought them to Amsterdam. From there, my grandmother went to Belgium to meet my grandfather. Some, including himself, were taken by the Nazi, but it's still thanks to them that some of the people are in the room today. So that's Michal's grandfather. Don't know what else I can... Okay, you need to know that the dates on a family tree are always very interesting because everybody is changing at one point or another. So there are some things which do not fit. In one family, the wife said she wanted to be younger, and then she gave a date that was younger, and the husband said, no, I want to have the retirement earlier, so I gave a date that's later. So the dates are what they are. It's always interesting. Okay, my parents were my father was hidden with my grandparent and his younger brother in a place south of Belgium in the forest till at least 42. So I also would like to thank those people who did help my family, but also all the other families, so that there are more people that they have survived of the war. And to finish, I had worked on part of the tree with my grandmother, and then we went to another member of the family that's been able to attend here, and he just worked on it too, and we had a first version. And a few years later, Yoji redid the tree, and he added all the dates. And then we saw the impact of the Shoah, which is, in our family, is really, really big. I mean, from my grandfather's side, 3 siblings out of 8 survived. And then what I really like with this tree is like what Charlotte did, is she added a new generation. And if you can see, the new generation is really there. And that's really nice. Thank you very much.
אז אני גם רוצה להגיד מילים, כמה מילים בעברית ואחר כך כמה מילים בצרפתית. אז השם שלי ברנרד, אני הבן דוד של אנרי. אני הבן דוד של אנרי אפרים, האח של נדין. אני רוצה להגיד שבהתחלה לא הבנתי למה שרלוט ואפרים רצו לארגן אירוע כזאת, ובאמת אני מודיע שרלוט ואפרים, je vous remercie beaucoup, זה היה רעיון טוב מאוד. לפי דעתי הייתי מעוניין מאוד לעבוד על העץ, לעבוד עם נדין, לעבוד עם אפרים ושרלוט, לעבוד עם כל המשפחה על העץ. לא, אנחנו חיים, אין לנו זמן, אבל לחשוב על העבר זה מעניין מאוד. ואני צריך להגיד שלא ידעתי את השם של ההורים של הסבא וסבתא. כמה אנשים מכולכם, כמה אנשים מכירים את השמות של הדור, ההורים של סבא וסבתא? לא הרבה, אז זה היה מעניין מאוד. ובעץ הזה גם עוד רמה יותר גבוהה זה כתוב. זאת אומרת, הסבא וסבתא של הסבא וסבתא בתוך שלי. זאת אומרת, יש 5 או 6 דורות. במשפחה פישגרונד שניצר שלנו יש 4 בקומה ראשונה, יש ליאופול ורחל, נולדו ב-1840, זה כתוב שם. דור אחר כך נולדו ב-1870, יש 4 ערים אחרות שאנחנו יודעים. שניהם יוסף וחיה, משניהם כל המשפחה בישראל ובבלגיה. משני הילדים, המשפחה בישראל ובבלגיה. מהשניים האחרים, יעקוב ומוישה שמואל, הצד של אמריקה. אז אני רוצה עוד להגיד כמה מילים על המשפחה באמריקה. זה, ואני חושב שאפרים ושרלוט ישמחו, je pense que ça va vous plaire. הפעם הבאה נעשה גם רשימה של הכתובת אימייל של כל של המשפחה בארצות הברית, וננסה לארגן אירוע או אירוע עם המשפחה בארצות הברית. Bravo pour votre organisation. Et voilà, la prochaine étape, c'est les États-Unis.
I want to say that we also, and Ruti will take the word later, we also have Ravs in our family. Huh? Rav Rosenzweig was member of our family at the Gutmans. You don't know. You are from the Wiles. But thank you very much, Nadine, Bernard. Now I would like to call Michal Rolia, who is a cousin of Henry Ephraim. No,
Content call. I try to speak in English. It's better. I prefer not. Need?
No, you need to speak.
Okay. My English is really bad, so I will have much mistakes, but I don't care.
Speak in Hebrew.
No, I want to say something. I was prepared something. I will read it later, but I want to say something. Yesterday, I sit few minutes with Bernard and Nadine, and then they explained me how deeply they go with Charlotte's passion to do this. And for me, I said it before to Charlotte, it's the best present that I received in my life. Because I remember one day they invite us to Danielle's school to make a tree. And I didn't have nothing to write. And Danielle had only one paper. And all the children came was like that. So I tried since then to say to all the managers in the school, don't do this, because people from second generation, they don't have family. So now I feel I have something. Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Nadine. And thank you, Bernard. You did beautiful work for me and for everybody. So I want to, now, I don't know, I want to read in Hebrew, and it was translated to French.
We have it. Everybody understands Hebrew, I suppose, huh?
קודם כל אני נורא מתרגשת, ואני רגילה לדבר לארבע עיניים. עכשיו יש לי 200 עיניים, אז נראה איך זה ילך. אני כאן בלי אחות שלי, כיוון שהיא ובעלה, אפי נעים, הם איבדו את בנם שנדרס למוות ב-16 בנובמבר 22. דור אחייני אהוב, יהיה זכרו ברוך. והדרך שכתבתי, כשרלוט אמרה לי תכתבי, תדברי, לא ידעתי איך. הדרך שאני כתבתי זה דרך של ילדה קטנה שמדמיינת את סבא שלה שהיא לא הכירה. אז כל מה שאני כותבת זה מראש של דמיון, והאמת של החיים שלי שאני מדברת לסבא שלי. אני נורא מתרגשת. סבא יקר שלי, כמה מתוק ונעים להגות את המילה הזאת. זאת הפעם השנייה בחיים שאני אומרת סבא. שמך הפרטי המלא היה היינריך. אולי הנרי קרוי על שמו. אני עוד לא יודעת את התשובה. אני אשמח לדעת. אספר לך קצת על הבת שלך, אמא שלי, מרים, או מירי, ככה נהגת לקרוא לה. אמא הגיעה לארץ לאחר השואה בגיל 15 לבדה. ללא אמה מרגרטה ובלעדיך. שניכם הלכתם לעולמכם, וילדה לבד עברה את כל זוועות המלחמה. מהר מאוד בכוחות שאינני מבינה מהיכן שאבה, לבדה ללא משפחה, החלה את חייה בארץ הזאת, שהיא ארץ מולדתי, ישראל. דניאל, אני צריכה מים. אמא ידעה שכדי לשרוד היא צריכה ללמוד, ואכן היא למדה ונהייתה אחות לילדים בבית חולים. תודה מתוק. סבא, רק רגע. כמה היית גאה לראות אותה בבגדים הלבנים, בכובע הלבן על ראשה, בגדי האחות. פעם היו לובשים כובע שביס כזה, אחיות. ובעיקר במבט החד והחכם שהיה לה בזמן עבודתה. בבית היא הייתה אחרת. תמיד חשבתי לעצמי בתור ילדה שבטח את החוכמה היא ירשה ממך. סבא, אמא התחתנה והביאה לעולם את הראלה אחותי ואותי מיכל. אבא מהר מאוד נטש את משפחתנו, והבת שלך מרים האמיצה נשארה לגדל את שני בנותיה לבד. חיים לא קלים היו לה, אבל תמיד היא שמרה על גאווה ולא הראתה כמה סבל יש בתוכה. מי שידע והרגיש את הסבל שלה היו כמובן אחותי ואני. סבא, אני רוצה לעצור, לספר לך ולספר לכולכם זיכרון שלי. אני ילדה בת 10 בפתח תקווה, קומה רביעית. אמא מתעוררת בוקר אחד ובוכה. ואני הילדה בת 10 לא יודעת איך לעזור לה. לבסוף שהיא קצת נרגעה, היא אומרת לי, חלמתי חלום על אבא שלי, סבא שלך. בחלום הוא נראה כל כך חי, והוא אמר לי, מירי, אני כל כך מתגעגע אלייך. כבר 32 שנה אני מתגעגע. ומיכל, אמא אומרת לי, את יודעת שאני מנסה לא לחשוב על מה שהיה. אני רוצה לשכוח את הכל, ואני לא רוצה להתעסק בזה. אבל זה בא לי בחלום, ואני חישבתי, ומצאתי שבדיוק היום שנפרדתי ממנו, זה היה לפני 32 שנה. איך זה יכול להיות? ועוד מחשבה של ילדה קטנה שלי. תמיד חלמתי, היה לי מין חלום, פנטזיה, שסבא זה איש גדול ורגוע, ותמיד דמיינתי שלסבא יש כף יד גדולה, נעימה ורכה. כמה רציתי לתת יד, שיהיה לי סבא, לתת לו יד. לפי מה שאמא סיפרה לי, אני יודעת שסבא העביר את כל משפחתו מפולין להולנד, את הוריו, את אחיו ואחיותיו, דודה פלה, דודה טולה, דודה רגינה, דודה רוז'ה ודוד שמעון ואת ההורים. סבא שלי, תסתכל עליי, בניתי משפחה לתפארת, רוברטו, דניאל, איילה שהיא באיטליה, יש לי 2 ילדים, הלוואי שהיית מכיר אותנו. אמא שלי, הבת שלך, גרה היום בבית יוליאנה, בית לניצולי שואה מהולנד, בו היא מטופלת ומוגנת, זה הודות לעזרה שהיא קיבלה מהמשפחה. אמא שלי, הבת שלך מאוד נהנית מהנכדים שלה. היום, ממרומי גילי, אני בת 61 עוד חודש, אני מרשה לעצמי להחזיק את היד הגדולה שלך והחמה שמגיעה אליי מהשמיים עד לכאן לאדמה.
וואו. הופמן, דורון, אתה יכול לבוא? דורון הופמן, is the son of Michel Hoffman, who is a cousin of Ephraim. Their mothers were sisters. Doron and
Gal.
eh?
Gal.
Gal.
Gal Hoffman.
One of the twins. Okay, you want to say a few words?
I can.
No, say a few words. You came over, say a few words.
היי. טוב, אני הבן של מישל וטובה הופמן. סבא שלי, אבא של מישל הוא...
אבא, אני אוהב אותך.
Wonderful.
אותו שלי.
Okay.
אז...
So, come on.
אז אבא של מישל, אבא שלי, אז הוא נספה בשואה. לא, בסדר, ככה. ומה אני אגיד עוד?
You said to your father, grandfather. What did you say? What did he say? סבא.
כן.
מת בשואה.
הסבא מצד אבא שלי נרצח בשואה. וזהו.
Okay. We'll read the rest on the genealogy tree.
Okay.
תודה רבה, דורון. תודה. Doron has a brother, Shlomi Revital. Also, they have two girls. They are here. Yes, welcome. So next person to speak is on the branch on my side, Ruti Borosh. This is the line of the Weil family. The Weil family. We all, our common ancestors for all the people on the blue side. Voilà.
Okay. Actually, I prepared to talk about my grandmother. We called her Omama, which, the wife of Arthur Weil. Arthur Weil was the brother of Charlotte, Shari Weil Gutman. Okay, it's good?
My grandmother.
Okay. So I chose to talk about my grandmother because she lived with us for 8 years. So we had the privilege to know her very well. So I'll read you what I wrote about her. So Sidonia Ringweil, she was born in Michalkovice, a village near Moravska Ostrava, now Czech Republic. Moravia, that region, was a province of Austro-Hungary Empire. She was born in 1889, and in 1910 she married our grandfather Arthur, who lived in that time in this area, Oderberg, that's Novi Bohumin. Quite soon after their marriage, they moved to Romania, actually also another province of Austro-Hungary, in Banat, that's the region where all our family then was born. Okay, the first place, they moved in the place of coal mines, where our grandfather worked as a bookkeeper, as an accountant bookkeeper. And that was his job for many years in different places. After moving to different places, they moved finally to Orshova, near Danube, and there they lived for many years. In 1959, they moved to Arad, and they were exactly the year when a part of the family made Aliyah 59. And Arthur died in the same year. It was something, he was sick when there were no doctors to take care of him. So then our grandmother, Omama, moved to Câmpia Turzii, another place in Transylvania, and lived, as I told you, for 8 years. So I wrote here a little bit about our life together. We had a very small apartment. Omama shared with me and Julika, my sister, the same room. She liked very much to read, and before going to sleep, she was always reading. She could see only with one eye. After an accident during her childhood, she lost the sight. No, she was not blind. One eye she couldn't see, but she liked so much to read, and I know that her formal education was quite reduced, but she knew a lot of things. She was interested in a lot of things, and always had stories to tell us. She also did some handwork, macrame, and she cooked. She cooked very well. Mm-hmm. Sometimes things very complicated, but the results were fantastic, and we enjoyed very much what she was preparing. So as I told you, she was an autodidact, and she didn't show her feelings. She kept a kind of distance from us. Maybe that was proper in her eyes. We could feel she loves us, even without showing it. She tried once to teach us how to greet our parents. So that was funny, because she said, say kiss the hand, be very polite. And when we said to each other servus, that's a very colloquial, it's what you are greeting your friends the same age. So when I tried to say to my father, kiss the hand, we both laughed, because it was so that didn't help. She couldn't change our habits. So the reason that I started to talk about Omama was that via our cousin who lives in Canada, I got a letter that our grandmother wrote in 1949. It was such an emotion to read, like getting her back after so many years. She died in 1967, and suddenly she was very, very alive, writing actually a letter to the son of her cousin. She met her maybe 40 years before. So they are just also she's asking about the family. She knew that there was only her cousin had 8 children. Only one survived. Actually, 4 died in their childhood, and from 4, only one survived. That was the one who wrote actually for his mother to my grandmother. But she described with such a warmth her family, her children, her grandchildren. She had then a few grandchildren, and she described them as what a pleasure to meet them. When we always lived so in different places, so even in Romania we didn't meet often. So she was so happy when they came to visit, and she wanted to get more information about the family. She asked, maybe you'll send some pictures. We want to meet, to know each other better. I was very, very impressed about what wrote and the style she was writing, and really very, very impressed. And now actually I see what importance has to know the family and not to forget who were our parents, our ancestors. It's like knowing what formed us, what we inherited. And I always been very, very interested in the family and wanted to know more and more. And probably to many of us happens that suddenly we have more questions. And we don't have
answers
anymore. Yeah. My mother knew a lot, and I took from her everything I knew, but I wanted to know, but now I want more.
Yeah. Later.
Yeah. So that's more or less what I wanted to say.
תודה רבה, רותי. תודה.
Okay.
So Ruti Borosh is a second level cousin. We are related at the Weil level, as we have understood, as we have the same great-grandfather, Edmund Weil, who lived in the 19th century in Hungary. On the tree, you probably noticed, there are 6 generations. It started in the 19th century, and it goes on with the new generations. On the tree, there are almost 500 names mentioned. We don't have pictures for all the names, but we have 85% of the names that have photographs. So, but this is a process that just started. We can keep it going on. And if somebody else wants to say a few words, you are welcome to raise your hand and come to the mic. Zéo? Bernard, tu veux encore dire quelque chose? Non? Alors, assieds-toi. Voilà. Okay? So, thank you very much. Now, there is a book, memory book. You can sign, you can write whatever you want from this experience we had together. Now, when we leave this room, where you can still have, yes, thank you for reminding me. We have lots of presents for you all. So, for women and girls who are interested, we have a fan that was designed by our dear friend Sharon Jerusalmi. And it goes like that, like a fan. With a pocket, with the pocket. So this, you don't live without it. Then, for the children. Thank you. For the children, there is a puzzle. There are two photos that were changed into puzzles. And one of the photos, of course, it's us in a heart, for you not to forget us. So this is for the children. And this is the tree printed that you can all take as a souvenir. I hope you have room enough to open it.
It's 5 meters long.
Yes, it's 5 meters. So I don't know where you find the place to open it completely. Enjoy. And this is for those who didn't take the candle yesterday evening. Every family is entitled to one candle, which is a handcrafted holder for a candle that was designed for us on our behalf in Belgium. In Belgium, was designed in Belgium. Did you understand me? So if you have taken it yesterday, that's it. If you didn't yet take it, there are still some left here. And it's very important to know, never put this directly on the basis. Ça va vous deux là, oui? Allô? Oui, on ne vous dérange pas trop? You absolutely need to put ores. Absolutely need to put ores. If you don't, this is all going to melt. Okay? Very important to know. So we have some bottles of wine, we have some Belgian chocolates, and it's not finished because we would love to have photo session now outside with the family. Yes. Yes. My husband had a wonderful idea. We are going to take off the genealogy tree. We are going to hold it. All the family will hold it in the back. The children will sit in the front. And so we can have a picture by our Nathan Weil, who is trying to cope and to get the souvenirs of this day. We do it outside, of course. So don't leave. Help us to hold the genealogy tree for these family pictures, okay? For the friends, we'll have it. We'll have one with the friends and one only the family, okay? Thank you very much.